here's the two things. Now, Tony Khan doesn't do an interview and say, everyone's so happy here. We're not going. He's like, no one's going nowhere. I'm not letting them leave. You look like a little pissy baby. And two, what I don't get is if you notice, like Punk ran his mouth and they get in the big backstage fight with the elite. And all this happens after Cody Rhodes leaves. Do you think Cody was like the glue that held it together, so to speak, or the voice of reason? Because it seemed to sure go to shit the minute he left.
He's the veteran, just like Jericho. But see, Chris is the kind of guy who don't take no shit. And he's always been that way. I mean, I know Chris, he don't back down from anybody. You know, and if he gets in an argument with somebody in the back, he'll fight him. You don't care if it's Goldberg. You don't give a shit who it is. That's just how Chris is. And we've always been that way, especially ECW guys. We don't take no shit. And everybody knows it. So I don't care what they say. But acting like that in the locker room is unprofessional. You know what I mean? And handle that shit privately. You know, say, excuse me, let's go into this bathroom and let's have a discussion. If it gets ugly, it gets ugly in there. Nobody has to see it. So why do you want to get attention and have everybody? Because you heard the crowd. They were screaming asshole to Sammy most of the night. So they know he's a problem over there. You know, so I mean, if he wants to become a heel and that's what he's trying to prove, I mean, being a heel in the locker room isn't being a heel. Being a heel out in the audience, that's a different story. You know what I mean?
I noticed when if you remember right after Cody left and Sammy got that TNT title back, and remember he was like in bed with Ty Conte. Remember they were having sex with the belt and Dan Lambert, like, you know, you got my jizz all over it and all this nonsense. But even Cody said, you know, like on Twitter, he's like, my God, I spend a year straightening this kid out. I'm gone for 2 days and he's having sex with the belt. You think Cody was like mentoring all these young kids, or do you think Cody
I
left?
think
You were
I think I think he was trying to. You know, being a veteran of him, being Dusty Rhodes' son, being a third generation or fourth generation wrestler. I mean, yeah, you know, he was. All those guys are young. You know, I met what's his name, the Cowboy.
Page.
I met him when he was 27 with Marty Scroll when I was in Atlantic City working. And he was only 27 years old. Marty was in his 30s, so he's a little bit more mature.
I like
But I could
Marty.
tell, you know, Paige was cool. He was he introduced himself to me. We shook hands, and you know, it was all right. Marty knew who I was, so it was cool. And you know, Paige was only 27 years old. He's still young. You know, I could tell he had a little attitude. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's because a lot of these guys were getting their shit too soon, too quick. You know, they were getting in New Japan, and not saying anything's wrong with that. That's what me and my partner did, the same exact thing they did. Went to Japan first, and then we were able to work anywhere we wanted in the United States. That's what we did.